First, you need an example of exactly what kind of a lying, sniveling, evil, bridge troll monster, grinder-focused MAGA Moses Mike Johnson really is. And then we'll get into the rest of the video.
I believe they know for a fact that what they filed in the court is false. You know, they're lawmakers. They're supposed to know how the law works. And so the whole thing is just shameful. And they're...
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And yeah, it's 12:53 a.m. on November 1st, which just so happens to be the day that SNAP benefits are gone for millions of Americans. And what you just heard Mike Johnson reference there in that little clip was how he knew, and even the lawyers knew, that a lawsuit brought up by many states to encourage or force the federal government to release the emergency funds for SNAP benefits so that this doesn't happen today must be released. They made that lawsuit. He said it was frivolous. He knew it couldn't be done. By the way, they're lawyers. They should have known. Unfortunately, he's a liar. Now, they just won that case. The judge said they have to release it. So now I'm going to play you the full context of his lie, his gross, disgusting lie. And then we're gonna talk about what's even worse than just the lie itself. We're gonna talk about why he's lying and how on God's green earth, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only person in the Republican Party that seems to understand it. Jesus Christ, I hate that. Hey, strange bedfellows in times of war. Watch this disgusting, grotesque lie from a white Christian nationalist who forces his kid to watch his porn and share it with him. The white one, not the black one. He's probably dead somewhere. We haven't seen him in years. Watch this.
To add to that, the Democrats are lying about that, and I think they know that. Some of the ones who are out saying it are actually attorneys. They can read the black letter law themselves. They've even filed a lawsuit, you saw, to try to do it. Why? Because they wanted a talking point. They know that's a frivolous piece of litigation. They know they're going to lose, but they also know it'll take many weeks or months to have that ultimately determined by a court because of the way the justice system works. So they're using it as a talking point to try to claim. I believe they know for a fact that what they filed in the court is false. You know, they're lawmakers. They're supposed to know how the law works. And so the whole thing is just shameful. And they're using the people as pawns in this game. That underlying fund that the Secretary just addressed was unfunded by the Democrats themselves when they voted against the CR.
There is a very, very specific part of that I want you to latch on to. He said that these lawyers know it will take months. They know it will take months because that is the Trump playbook. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong or lying or not. Just sue. Just sue. He is the most litigious president in the history of America because if you just sue, it usually takes months. Thank God there's a judge out there somewhere, and there's a few of them. Many judges said that, no, we're not going to take months for this. You were hoping it would take months, Mike Johnson. You let the cat out of the bag, and that wasn't the only time he let the cat out of the bag. Number one, you need to know that they now have to release it. But they gave them until Monday to let them know whatever. How they're going to release it, I don't know. The truth is, judges aren't police officers, and they're not part of the executive branch. They can't force anything. But yeah, they won the case. And so Monday, they're supposed to be talking about how the progress is doing, which means for the next 2 days at least, even though right has won. I mean, right as in right or wrong, not right as in evil fucking bullshit Nazi fuck faces. Right won. 2 days at least where people will not have those benefits. At the end of this, I'm going to show some people specifically in Atlanta because that's just where I have the information of all the different things they can do, all the different strategies and organizations that are willing to help them for the next 2 days. Please stay tuned for that. But let's talk about his lie. Number one, he was hoping it would take months. As long as they sue, he could just keep lying. And the buffoons in red hats who drowned themselves in Trump's lies and changed their minds into mush in order to be malleable by the king and his jester, grinder Moses Mike Johnson. That didn't happen. It was too quick. But now that we know that he was lying, now that we know that lawyers happen to know what they're talking about, who care about America, and he doesn't, let's take another look at what he said.
They know, I believe they know for a fact that what they filed in the court is false. You know, they're lawmakers. They're supposed to know how the law works. And so the whole thing is just shameful. And they're using the people as pawns in this game.
That part. You're a lawmaker. That means presumably you should know, right? Isn't that your words, MAGA Mike Johnson? Moses Mike Johnson? Grinder Finder Mike Johnson? Those are your words. You're a lawmaker. Presumably you did know. I believe you did. Thank you for proving my point. You lying bridge troll. You dingleberry on the ass of America. Let's find out why. Watch this.
For programs like SNAP for emergencies. And as the judge put it in federal court today, quote, "It's hard for me to understand that this is not an emergency when there's no money and a lot of people are needing their SNAP benefits." I think it's really important to be clear about what Republicans were trying to do here. They were ginning up excuses to actively force 42 million Americans to lose their SNAP benefits when they didn't have to. They were choosing to take food away from 42 million of the poorest Americans while trying to accuse Democrats of what Johnson and Republicans were actually doing. I mean, J.D. Vance actually laid out what was happening really clearly today, believe it or not.
They are trying to take a hostage, and we can't reward that behavior.
Taking a hostage, using food that tens of millions of Americans needed as a hostage to negotiate with. That is what Republicans in Congress are trying to do here. And today, Mike Johnson laid out why. Here was Speaker Johnson earlier today responding to a question about why he wouldn't just move money around to fund SNAP. Take a listen.
Because if you deviate from the goal of reopening the entire government, Chuck Schumer and the radicals over there will continue to play games with people's paychecks, their livelihoods. And if you do just part of this, it will reduce the pressure for them to do all of it.
There you have it. That is the game that Republican leaders are playing here.
Yes, that's it. He said it. He's finally gotten tired. Or I guess what happens is when you lie so much, you get caught up in them. And when you think so poorly of your fan base, of your voter base, and disrespect their IQ, their intelligence, their willingness to learn or care about anything other than themselves. When you do that long enough, you make mistakes. And that's what he did. What he said was he's punishing Americans, keeping their SNAP benefits away in order to make sure that the Democrats can't get the next thing that they want, which is affordable health care for you, not illegal immigrants. They don't get those benefits. They don't. They can't file for them. They're illegal. Not only that, you received a letter, I know you did, because I did, about how much your health care is going up at the end of the year if they don't extend these benefits. That's what the Democrats are fighting for. Mike Johnson said, well, I'll just make sure you can't eat as well. He said it right there. He's using it to punish you as an American. Not only did we find out he's a liar, not only did we find out his reason for doing it is because he's a bridge troll and he's a succubus on the end of Donald Trump's mushroom. I know you thought it was clickbait. It's not. Now, Trump actually wants to get rid of the filibuster. This is what he does. He panics and he rages and he blames everybody else but him. Before he said the shutdown is going to be great for us. It's going to be great for us. I can get rid of all the Democrat programs. That's SNAP. Now he says, get rid of the filibuster. You know why? Because without the filibuster, the government would have been open. That's because Republicans don't want those health care benefits to go away either for their constituents. So they also aren't voting for the CR package. You fucking lying bridge troll. Trump is panicking, raging, now saying get rid of the filibuster, and blaming everybody else but his orange, purple, cankled self. These next 2 days are going to be tough. So what I'm going to show here, because it is 1 a.m. now. It's 1 a.m. Been down here way too long. Way too long. This day was crazy. War in Venezuela. I had to do my FAFO stuff, try to bring some light, some happiness, some laughing. Cop cars in Chicago running into barricades. And now this, but I had to do it. It's 1 a.m. I'm going to put it out. 1 a.m. on the East Coast. And when you see this in the morning, know that SNAP benefits are gone, even though this is good news, at least 2 days. So I'm going to put up pictures now of everything that I've seen in Atlanta that will help you, that are organizations or strategies that will help you feed your family for the next few days and maybe longer, because we know that this administration hates you. They want you to die. They want you to die so they can pick your pockets from your dead corpse. That's the Christian Republican Party. There's no doubt about it. That's it. Watch this again. Watch the reasoning and the lie and the proof that it was a lie and that they were hoping it would have taken months so they could continue to lie to you and steal from you so that billionaires get tax breaks and your health insurance goes back up because the person who brought it into being was a black man. That's why they hate that tax credit. That's why they hate the ACA, Affordable Care Act. Oh, that's Obamacare for you fucking idiots out there. Here are the pictures. Tomorrow we fight. I'm going to bed. My wife needs me. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.